What's going on, guys? My name's Chopper, and welcome everybody to today's video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to discuss today. So recently, I made a video about a leaked item slash feature that's coming to the game that is an armor repair kit. And we basically discussed that in detail, what that would mean for the game and how it would be implemented. So if you want to go check that out, feel free, but we're gonna cover that in this video, but also much more. That was only scratching the surface. So if you thought that stuff was crazy, then buckle up, guys, because it's about to get wild. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy all the stuff we're about to talk about. And before we jump into all of it, if you guys don't mind sparing 2 seconds to leave a like rating on the video, it genuinely does help me out so much, and I would really appreciate it. And of course, if you're brand new around here, don't forget to subscribe for daily PUBG content. The support recently on the channel has been absolutely overwhelming, and I feel like I really don't say this enough. As a YouTuber, it's easy to get caught up in numbers and just kind of shrug them off as just part of the gig, and as we get closer to 250,000, it's really put into perspective for me, like how each number, each view, each like, everything is an individual person that is watching my videos, and it's genuinely humbling to know that. So I just want to say a really big thank you to everybody who supported the channel thus far, and it's all of you who make me doing this possible, and I can't even begin to pay you back for that. So just once again, a really big thank you to all of you. But anyways, all that out of the way, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Now, if you haven't seen the video I made about the leaked armor repair kit, I'm going to briefly reiterate, we're going to go over that once again, just so that everybody's on the same page, and it's also pretty important to everything else that we discuss in the video. Now, all of the leaked items and everything that we're going to discuss in today's video comes from a Reddit user named allthenewsisgoodnews. Now, he is the man responsible for pretty much almost all of the leaks for PUBG items and things like that, for the most part anyways. He's probably the most trusted and reliable source as far as PUBG leaks, so I just say this to give credibility to where this is coming from. Now, anyways, back to the armor repair kit. When I first heard about this was something that really caught my eye, as I was concerned about how this would be implemented, and I feel like this would be the thing that fundamentally changes the game of PUBG. And so the idea for this is that there's some kind of kit or item that allows you to repair both like your vest, so just like your actual body armor, and also your helmet. So if it's damaged, if you come out of a gunfight and it's like near breaking, the durability is worn down, you can repair it to probably its original state using this repair kit. And that sounds like okay on paper, but if you really think about it, I don't know if this would be great for the game. And the main point that I was trying to drive home in that video is that I think a armor repair kit or a system that you can use to repair both helmets and vests would kind of take away from smart play. I was also saying that out of every single battle royale on the market right now, I really think that PUBG does armor the best. Like Blackout system, which also ironically has an armor repair kit, is like their armor system was absolutely horrendous. It was a joke. Fortnite is having its own set of issues right now with their whole health and armor system, and Apex Legends I don't really think did it super well either. PUBG was one of the games that genuinely had everything with armor fine-tuned, and I don't think it needed to be tweaked at all. However, an armor repair system would, to put it lightly, throw a wrench in that whole thing. But yeah, we've already discussed the armor repair system at length, and again, if you want to go watch that video, it's on the channel. You can go and check out my full thoughts on that. But it doesn't stop there. There is another kind of repair kit that is separate from the armor system, and this is a vehicle repair kit. Now, I'll be honest, a vehicle repair kit doesn't freak me out nearly as much as an armor one does, but it's still interesting how both of these are leaked like around the same time, and maybe will be implemented at the same time. Like that will change how PUBG plays like forever. Now, the details on both of these repair kits are pretty sparse because as right now they are only leaks and we can only gather very like peripheral information, but from what I would say about the vehicle repair kit, it's pretty self-explanatory. You can probably fix up your vehicle if it's like smoking or it's damaged at all and restore it to full health. Maybe you can even put gas in it with the same thing, which would make gas cans itself obsolete. And that's the thing, is like gas cans are already arguably one of the most useless items in the game as it stands, and I think a vehicle repair kit system would maybe fall into the same thing as the gas can. As I always say with leaks though, it's very important to keep in mind that you take all of this with a grain of salt, and not everything is 100% set in stone, and we don't even know how these are going to be implemented, which again is really half the battle. That's just as important as the idea and the concept itself. And that segues really well into our next leaked item that we got to talk about, and this is actually a new vehicle, and it's supposed to be, from what we know and from what we've been able to gather, something that is amphibious in both water and land. To give you an idea of what something like that would look like, I would imagine it like this. Just something that can both travel on land and like water just as easily as one another. Now, here's the thing. A lot of these leaks, like I'm unsure of, and I'm kind of skeptical about them, about how they'd be implemented into the game. But the thing about this vehicle is that I think it's a great idea. And I'll tell you why. It doesn't disrupt any current gameplay features. It simply gives you another way to play the game. Instead of having to drop and swap for another vehicle, if you're crossing sea or land, it allows you just to do both and stay in that vehicle and kind of do it a bit more seamlessly. Now, don't worry. A vehicle like this wouldn't be able to go underwater. Like, if it's going to touch the water and the land, it's going to be stuck on the surface surface, so you can still obviously fight it, and it's not going to be like an overpowered thing. And in my personal opinion anyways, I think this was the next step for vehicles in PUBG. This was something that it needed. It is cool to have new vehicles and maybe reskins of things that we already have. Like, for example, you know, in Vikendi, the snow bike is essentially the motorcycle. Like, they get the same job done, just with a different skin and a different sound, that sort of thing. But this is genuinely something that is unique. And as I was saying before, this is speculation as well, but from the leaks that we have from this is probably the closest and most accurate representation of what we're going to get from this new vehicle. And this has me the most optimistic about all of them. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on this new vehicle? Do you like the idea of something that's able to cross both land and water? Do you think that would be broken? Do you think it'd be overpowered? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. It is pretty imperative that you guys let me know what you think too, just because I'm only one person. I only have one opinion. It's up to you guys as well to really decide if this is a good idea for the game or not. But now, moving on to our next leaked item here. This is where things get pretty juicy. Now, ever since the conception of PUBG, pretty much as early as it's been developed, there's always been a static amount of healing items. You know, we've had the first aid kit, the med kit, adrenaline syringe, painkillers, energy drinks, that sort of thing. And that's not really changed at all. There's nothing new been thrown into the mix. Nothing different has been added really, but that might all change. There's a new healing item that evidently is being developed, and we actually have an image for it too and a name. It's the Hemostatic device. And this is so interesting because there's a lot of theories you can make with this thing. What exactly is it? I guess the most credible theory right now is that this is some sort of like instant revive kit, or maybe a self-revive kit. I think that's more unlikely. A way to either revive your teammates faster or maybe pick yourself up or something, I think is the most likely option. Now, a hemostatic device is basically something that stops bleeding. So an idea I had was that maybe this could be something, if you get downed, you can stop your own bleed out. Either that, or it could be something that allows you to just res your teammates much faster. Or a third option is maybe if you revive a teammate using the hemostatic device, they res not only as they normally do, maybe in a faster time, but maybe they res with full health and maybe a full boost. I feel like maybe a combination or either one of those options is the most likely for this device. The only other thing I could really think of, if it's not a revive thing, if it's not somebody that's either picking yourself up or another teammate who's downed in a different way than you normally res, the only other realistic thing I could really think of at the moment is it's kind of like a Phoenix kit from Apex Legends, where you restore yourself to both full health and a full boost, but it takes a really long time to use. And that's what's so exciting about this item to me, is that there's so many options about what it could be. All we know is that maybe it's a revive kit and it's called a hemostatic device, and you can run with those ideas how you will. Let me know in the comment section what your theories are about this healing item, but regardless of what it does, like, it doesn't matter necessarily what the effect is at the moment. The point is, this is a new healing item you have to account for. We've gotten so used to all of the standard healing items and how they all work in the game, but if something new gets added, it's something you got to adjust your gameplay style for. I'm also going to go out on a limb here, and all things considered about this hemostatic device, it's probably going to be an airdrop item as well. Don't know that for sure, just my personal thoughts and speculation on it. You guys can let me know what you think, obviously, but now let's move on. Let's talk about some weapon attachments. So interestingly, some old attachments that have always been in the game but were since removed have resurfaced in a way, and some of these include the Tommy gun drum mag, the crossbow grip, and potentially the VSS specific attachments. Now, all of these have existed in the game since before pre-alpha, so they've been with the game the entire time. They just kind of come and gone as the game has updated and progressed, but we could see a return of some of these attachments. So for the Tommy gun drum mag, I'd imagine right now, if they implement this back in, we could restore it to its 100-round capability. Currently in the game, if you add the just regular SMG extended mag to the Tommy gun, you get 50 in it, but they could still have that system and do both. You could have the regular extended SMG mag and put on the Tommy gun, you get 50, but if you find this specific drum mag for the Tommy gun, imagine you can get 100 in it now. I'm all for having weapon-specific attachments in the game because you still have the option to run, like, we'll call them the vanilla attachments, just the general ones, but if you find these specific ones, you can add like a little bit of spice, a little bit of flavor to your weapon. Not much else to really talk about the Tommy gun drum mag. It's pretty self-explanatory, doesn't need a lot of talking about, but the one thing I want to discuss is the crossbow grip. Crossbow's always been a really weird weapon because it comes with its own red dot sight. You can put like other optics on it if you would like to, but you don't have to. It also has a quiver, so you can like reload faster, that sort of thing, which is very useful. But what would a grip even do on a crossbow realistically? Like, as far as grips in this game, a crossbow would not benefit from it in the traditional sense, where it doesn't need like any recoil reduction, as it doesn't have any. I think what would be a better idea and genuinely make the crossbow more useful is to have the grip attachment to where it increases your ADS speed, so you can obviously aim down the sights a bit faster, make it almost like a snap instant thing. But not only that, it should also decrease your raise and drop times for it. So what that means is making swapping hopping to and from your crossbow to other weapons quicker. It's just a little thing, but it's something that would genuinely make the crossbow more competitive. I think that we should definitely maybe consider these attachments if they come to the game soon and how they could be put in. Let me know if you have any ideas of how the crossbow grip could be put into the game and what exactly would it do. And finally, the VSS specific attachments are a pretty interesting one as well. I think that these are the most likely to be maybe re-implemented and I think would fit the best. So the VSS hat used to have its own extended mag for it, and not only that, but also a cheek pad that was only for that weapon. I feel like these two attachments could be re-added to the game, albeit very rare, maybe even rarer than the VSS itself, but the extended mag could maybe give you more in the magazine than the regular extended does for the VSS, and then the cheek pad could just give you more of a benefit than the standard cheek pad if you have this specific one, and I think that would work really well. Attachments are just one of those things. As I was saying earlier, it's always better to give players more options to play the game, and I really think that like the way moving forward with attachments is having like weapon specific ones that don't break the weapon but do give you a like noticeable added benefit to it. All right guys, now moving on to the last leak, and last but not least, we have probably the most wild thing I've ever talked about as far as new items in the game, and you're hearing this right, a super energy drink. To make things even better though, we have a picture to accompany it. This is the actual image of a super energy drink, and you can see that on the bottom it says Red Zone Edition. Now keep this in mind, I think this is like a red herring. I think it's just a saying. I don't believe this has anything to do whatsoever with the red zone itself. Like I don't think it's going to offer you red zone protection or anything. I genuinely think that this is some kind of like big healing item, and it's something that is definitely sought after and very rare, but has nothing to do with the red zone specifically. What I think is probably more realistic for this super energy drink is that maybe this is the Phoenix shape. Maybe this is the item that allows you to restore you to full 100 HP and also a full boost as soon as you cast it. Now, I'd imagine this would have to be a drop thing as well. It's not going to be a common spawn, but a super energy drink is something you could theorize about for days. Like for example, this is just a complete shot in the dark, but imagine like it works like a regular energy drink and all the things that we just mentioned above, but maybe you take slightly less damage when you're in the blue as it's like while you're in it. If you have this energy drink active, it gives you a little bit more percentage of protection from the zone. That is 100% speculation, and it's just an example of an idea you could have with this energy drink. I think this is the most open to interpretation and probably the most creative one you could do with this as well. Now, I don't think that would even be a good idea giving you play zone protection, but I do think that this has the potential to be probably one of the most interesting items that PUBG has ever added, and I'm really glad we have an image for it too. I absolutely love the look of it. I think it's so interesting that it says red zone flavor on it, just because you can talk about that endlessly, and I think that it makes me really excited for the future of this game. It actually genuinely makes me want to play with this stuff, and I can't wait for it to hit the game in whatever form it does. And again, these are all leaks, so everything could change, and everything is not 100% set in stone, as we discussed at length earlier. Out of all the leaks discussed in this video, you know, some things are you can be rather skeptical about, but some things just sound really exciting too. The super energy drink sounds really fascinating, as well as the new vehicle. All of this sounds generally really great to me, and to be honest, there's a reason why PUBG has outlived a lot of these other BR games. Maybe it doesn't update as quickly as some other ones on the market, but that's okay. That's a good thing. It's this kind of slow implementing the right things into the game to keep it fresh, keep it healthy, and keep players engaged. That's why PUBG has lasted as long as it has. And to be honest, if you haven't played the game in a while and you're considering back into it, I really would. I would take the plunge. It's so funny because a lot of the issues that plagued the past of this game and why a lot of people ended up quitting have been cleaned up for a while, and people haven't really gave it a chance since. So if you're one of those people, I highly encourage you to jump back on the game and see what it's like for yourself. It's definitely cleaned up its act, and with all of this new stuff that's leaked that should be coming forward in the near future, it's got me really hyped for the future of this game, and it's looking bright. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. What is the leaked item that has you the most excited? What's the one that has you the most skeptical? And if there's any ideas that you have of how these could be implemented in the best way possible, feel free to drop that down below as well. But if you guys haven't already dropped a like on the video, make sure to go ahead and do that if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are brand new around here, of course, before you leave. Make sure to go check out my second channel, which more content will be uploaded over there. Links in the description down below. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for watching. The support on the channel, again, has been amazing, and a genuine thank you to each and every single one of you. But thank you so much for watching the video once again, and I'll see you all on the next live stream or the next video. Have a good one, guys, and peace out.